describe your fighting style?
How would I describe it?
I had to entertain the crowd. They came to watch me fight, and I gave them a fight to watch.
I'm Blood Diamond. I was born in Zimbabwe and moved to New Zealand when I was 12. To be honest, because when I first came to New Zealand, I was staying in Blenheim, and small towns. It was. Let's just say, personally, it was the worst 4 years of my life. But I guess it also got me prepared for adulthood and just growing up and all that. The things I always had in mind is just to remember there's someone else having it worse, So I might get picked on today, but at least every day I'm having a full plate of food. So you just gotta be thankful. So the first gym I went to was City Kickboxing, and like a couple of years I'll be just walking past. I'm like, now one day I'm gonna walk there and learn some martial arts or something, because it's something I was always passionate about. But being a student, finances and all, I just never had the money to join and be a member. But even when eventually I'm just like, screw it, just gonna go in there, introduce myself and see what would happen. And got there and they gave me a 3-week trial. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I made the most of it, went in every day as much as I could, trained as much as I could, hung out there as much as I can. I think after 2 or so weeks, they were just like, you might need to start paying. Like, I would love to, I really would love to, but I'm a student. My financial situation is pretty bad, so is there anything I can do? I'm willing to clean the gym or anything, whatnot. And they're like, okay, you tidy up, make sure the gym is clean. Since they had seen me for about 2 weeks always at the gym, I think I had already started doing a few chores, and then they actually delegated some chores for me to do every single day.
How did you get the name Blood Diamond?
Well, I was shy, so when I came in, I kind of mumbled my name, I guess, and they probably assumed it was some African names, and Blood Diamond was the first thing they just started calling out. I don't know if it was because they had just watched a movie or something. I don't know, something about it, they just started calling me Blood Diamond, and I'm like, oh, okay then. I didn't find anything wrong with it, so I'm like, okay, I think we'll stick to it. So I was on a holiday. I hadn't seen my family in a couple of years. I went home to visit them, and then usually has a way of just trying to get under my skin. I get a message, and then he's just like, I bet you are unfit. I'm like, what? He's like, you're fat and unfit. I'm like, whatever. He's like, come prove it. You gotta prove it. I'm like, yeah, I will. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do 2 classes just to prove to you that I'm fit. Came in the morning, did the early morning kickboxing class. He was a bit right. I wasn't gonna give him that satisfaction, I'm like, nah, I'm ready for the next one. So before, he just did something which was a bit off, but it didn't click to me because I'm tired. I'm like, get ready for the MMA sparring. So it starts talking, right?
Also, Israel, where's Israel? Israel, get over here. Boy, this guy came to the gym many years ago, gave up his life to be here. I remember some times in this guy's history that he was at the lowest of the low.
I'm listening to what he's saying, and I'm just like, yep, he did that, he's been to China, he did the thing. I'm like, Is did that, I was with him. Of course I was with him, I know this.
Although I'm not a person that does this a lot, this is a very special moment for me.
So as he was talking, I shut down. I'm like, you got MMA sparring, psyching myself out. I'm all geared up, ready for it.
Blood Diamond, welcome to the UFC.
So you can imagine, my mind is set to, I'm ready for the next sparring session. I'm being called up there. I'm not ready. I'm fully not ready. And yeah, like, I don't even remember what I said. I really don't know what to say, but thank you very much for all you guys who have been supporting. And I know a lot of people have been asking me, and well, when am I getting into the UFC? Well, here's the proof.
Yeah! No one deserves it more than that man there. Over 100 fights, fought all over the world, won, lost, been through many, many struggles in his life. It's a guy who used to live under the cage. We used to have a cage in our ring. He lived under the cage for a year. He was on the grind, he was struggling, he was trying to make a living. I've personally seen firsthand all the struggles that he's been through. Nothing made me happier than that moment just there announcing Blood Diamond's entry into the UFC.
Yeah, Diamond first went to China before me. He kind of set it up, the blueprint, the whole being a kickboxer, going to China, racking up fights, experience, while learning MMA along the way as well, jiu-jitsu, grappling. So we've got some amazing stories that we can share as well of our come up in China. There was times where it was just me and him. He's in my corner, sometimes I'm in his corner, and no one else. So yeah, we was the Blackout crew, 2-man deep. I can't wait to see Joe Rogan, DC, and Dominic Cruz try and decipher what the fuck this guy's throwing. Understand? Surprise. Surprise.
Okay, so King of Ring, yeah, is an 8-man tournament, just looking for the top fighters in New Zealand, you know, having 3 fights in one night. I knew about it, you know, I know a few of the guys who won it. I knew, what's his name, Joe Hopkins was the first one to win it. Then the next person to win it, I think, was Dan Hooker. And then the following time when that 72 kg slot came through, Huge told me about it. I'm like, yo, I'm keen for that, you know, I'm down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for semi-final fight number 1.
As I came in, you know, no one was expecting me to do what I did.
Blood Diamond!
Doug Viney, he's been in these tournaments. He always told me, you know what, each fight as if it's the final. Don't worry about the next fight because you will not get to the next fight unless you get the first fight done.
Starts off sharply, Harley Love. Good work with the hands. A lot more loose. Overhand right there from Harley.
And then once it's done, instead of like be happy like, yo, I've won, just like reset. It's like, okay, cool. On to the next one. So you just gotta reset, redo the whole thing, get ready. It's a new fight.
Nice jab from Blood Diamond. And there we go! Oh my God! He took a full shin across the jaw. He is wobbling in the corner. Diamond needing to work those hands. And it's again. This time it was the right leg.
That's the mindset I had. Like, basically it's a quick restart. And then yeah, get to the next one, restart, final, then you can celebrate.
It's the first of 3 rounds. So far it's been mostly Diamond. And there's that head kick.
I had to entertain the crowd. They came to watch me fight, and I gave them a fight to watch.
At the end of that year, I needed to go back home. So I went to Perth, that's where my family is. And I stayed there for like 2 months. And that's when I was still contemplating, okay, do I need to go, should I go back to New Zealand or should I just stay in Perth and study? You know, you're with your family, so you got security and all that. But I didn't really want to go back to architecture, but if I go back to New Zealand, I don't have a job, I don't have a place, I don't have any money, so things were gonna be tough. So fortunately, like earlier before I even left, me and Juju were talking about an opportunity to live and train in China. So I'm like, yeah, I'll be keen, yeah. And then when I went back to visit home, I kind of had forgotten about it. And then I met in Perth, and then he's just checking up with me. He's like, so what's the plan? You keen to go to China? I'm like, oh damn. Yeah, I'm keen, but at the same time, I had made new plans of studying. I talked to my dad; he was helping me get a place and all. So I was conflicted, you know, because I want to make my dad proud. You know, I want to get my architecture diploma or whatever, and just make him proud. But at the same time, there's a calling of living the dream. All I had to do was get to China, fights will be sorted, accommodation will be sorted, all I gotta do is train and fight. And so I'm in this dilemma. I had to talk to my mom, and my mom just gave me an answer. She's like, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but things you gotta remember, school is always going to be there, but this opportunity might not be there. But whatever choice you make sure you're not gonna resent us for it.
Yeah.
So that was it. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go. And I had to break it down to my dad, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be hard. Because I felt like I was gonna disappoint him. But yeah, I talked to him, and then he was a bit supportive. It was just like, you know what, okay, cool, that's what you wanna do. I'm like, no, that went smooth. He helped me get the visa and whatnot. And yeah, so all this happened within a week. So I had to apply for a visa. A week later, visa came. 2 days later, I'm flying out. I'm in China. Man, like, I thought it was a bit of a shock moving from Zimbabwe to New Zealand, but China was, yeah, it's a world of its own. It's like its own planet on Earth. The thing I loved about China was they are great hosts. They actually did look after me. I moved to China, and all I did was basically fight minimum twice a month. So sometimes I'll fight each week, you know. I lost track of things. Like, yeah, there were just so many fights happening, and yeah.
How would you describe your fighting style?
How would I describe it? So when I started, I was like more of a counter fighter, you know, just always waiting. That didn't give me much success. I actually had to talk to Yuji about it. He was telling me you need to be more aggressive, so I had to be more aggressive and always put on the pressure and throw a whole lot of knees. After my journey in China, I came back, and Yuji was just like, man, there are a lot of MMA fights in your weight class right now. If only you had MMA experience, you know, I would just chuck you in. I'm like, damn, okay, I guess that's the time to start learning. So I started slowly picking up learning MMA, yeah, how to deal on the ground. And then I had an opportunity to go to California to train with Team Oyama. So it was me and another good friend of mine, Jerry. We went there for, I think, about 3 months, yeah. And that's where I started picking up my MMA game. Back then, my big goal was to fight in Glory. And once I got there, talked to the coaches, just like, you know what, yeah, Glory is cool and all that, but you'd rather be in the UFC. And yeah, so at first I started just training kickboxing, and then he saw that I've got the potential to be doing MMA and have a good chance of being in the UFC. Even then, I didn't even believe I could do it, but I'm like, you know what, it's a new challenge, it's a new career path, give it a go.
Oh, beautifully done. Rolls him over into the back, takes his back. Yeah, he's going to watch out as a cross if he has not crossed his feet, but he's got the choke synced in. Pretty deep, he's tapping, he's got it! He's got it! Mike Blood Diamond closes the show in round 1.
This is the thing though, my record shows that I've got 3 fights here, but behind closed doors, I've been working for a long time, and I've been grinding for such a long time. For me to get to where I am, it's because of support. Personally, I feel like without City Kickboxing, I would not be where I am. They have given me a home, you know. When I was down, they helped me up. I owe them a lot. When I think about it, this fighting journey is the only thing I've done in my life and I've never given up on. Fighting ever since I started, you know. Even when I turned pro, and I could see that people were not willing to pay for the fights, I was willing to fight for free. It's just the passion for it, the evolution of it. Became amateur, became an amateur champion, started fighting overseas. You see that growth, that's more growth. Then now I'm on the biggest stage in combat sports. So yeah, it's cool that I'm there, but it's now the next step from there, you know. Yeah. It's exciting, yeah, I've got the data and all that. until like, yeah, I'm just waiting for when that cage is locked and the bell rings. Now that's when I get excited, and that's that motivation, you know.
What do you like doing when you're not in the gym?
Okay, when I'm not in the gym, to be honest, I like to be in my bed, chilling, not being bothered, and watching anime. I'm a big anime fan. Naruto is, since I've completed it, it's one of the other things I've completed. I'm like, that's so cool. One of my favorite characters, and there is Itachi Uchiha. When you look at him, like his story, it's like, damn, you're cruel, man. You destroy your whole village, but when you look at the bigger picture, like the whole story, but oh crap, you did it for that. All he did was, it was never a selfish act. It was selfless, you know. So that's what inspires me about Itachi. I'm into cooking, so me and my friend, we decided to start up a meal prep company, Rush Hour Bites. And before then, I thought I was a pretty good cook until these guys started cooking. Comet, man, yeah, he's a chef. He's a genius in the kitchen. And then, yeah, we started making meals, and we realized, okay, some of these things we can make it into a way your average person can eat, and you know. And yeah, so we started a meal prep company, and yeah.
What would you tell fighters on their own journey, hoping to be where you are now?
Well, Rome was not built overnight, you know. So you just gotta start somewhere, and once you start, just don't give up. It took me more than 10 years to get where I'm at. Okay, a lot of people, they see all this like, oh yes, Starbender's done this, oh Blood Diamond's done this, but they don't see how we got there, you know. It was a challenging journey, but it's because we just never gave up. But it's like that saying, you fall 9 times and you get up 10 times. So you just gotta keep on getting up, and yeah, just don't give up.
Wish you all the best for your debut.
See my guy.
My man.